Well, the system. I find a video that I posted 2 months ago. Very important video. Before I log out, I try just to look for two of my most viewed video. One is watched by 80,000 and the other one is watched by 77,000 people. I saved them both. I didn't save them because I want to show that I have a most view. I show them only to show you're hypocrite. But this video is very important. 7th of December 2010 I posted. Listen.
But that's your fashion. In Europe, the school, you have to sit down, don't move your hand. In Africa, we learn how to talk for ourselves, so everything is pointing. So it's in your eyes it looks like it's crazy. No, we have to point. So we do body language. Understand? The child that is coming 2 years later, the energy is going behind. The body is going ahead. That child that is 3 years old there, when they fall asleep in the night, 9 months later, their energy is exchanging, going to the baby that lives next door, and the baby that lives there that is 4 years is coming to this child that's going to be 4 years.
Now, let me pick up from there. It's very interesting when I listen to the video, because the looks of it, we see the children today, but we don't see the children 3 years later. 5 years later, the child that will be, because when you say 5 years later, every 12 months, we don't only have 5 times pregnancy. 5 years later, let me make it easier. 6 years later, we don't only have 6 pregnancy. We have 8 pregnancy. Six years, every 12 months, we have 8 set of babies. 8 times 9 months. 3 babies every 12 months. 3 fake months. There's 1 baby underneath the table. 3 years, 3 fake months. There's another 1 baby underneath the table. So 6 years from now, we have 8 set of group of children pregnancy. If the 5 years old is still inside of the stomach of the woman 5 years later, what kind of face we gonna see? 2 years of age boy right now taking a walk with their mother and father. We see the face now from the 2 years old. But what you don't notice is when there's one child 2 years old, there's 1,000 of them. And if there's 1,000 of them, each of them have an identical face from baby 0 till 20 years, till 30 years. They have a line of group of children. Energy. The energy right now, 5 years old, and the energy 5 years later, meaning the babies that are coming later, they are still in the stomach. The mothers are not pregnant yet. Some of them already have 2 children. They're gonna join the list to have number 3 baby, and some gonna have the first child for the first time. If we know the face of the young baby today, but we don't see the face of the babies that are coming 2 years later, if all the babies we see today, 2 years later, all those little babies, they are not baby face anymore. What happened when the new baby face come 2 years later, when it will be a second time pregnancy? Do you understand, Sally? Let me let consciousness say.
Just doing some grocery. I see an old man have his grandchild. The little boy is 2 years old. And look around the corner, there are nice other children.
I'm not talking. The consciousness is talking. From 7th of December. Listen.
2 years and some months old. They're all working with Opa and grandmother. Mothers are working. I'm like, well, 5 years later, they don't have those children. Other people have them. The point is, if I can show you really what drives the little children, but only most of the time what people don't understand and what they don't want people to understand, and why I'm dangerous, is you to understand that little child that is working right now with Opa, 2 years later, it's exactly the same child, but the only reason why the child don't look the same, because the husband and wife that make love, their face is different. Understand? The one who have the 2 years old now, 2 years later, they're gonna have the child that is 4 years old. The life is not, you're not looking the before. What is before already exists. What is coming later is what you have to, 2 years later, the new face is coming up. The 4 years cannot go to become the 2 years. I'm moving. I hope I'm taking your brain on the right side. I can just sit like that, talk, but that's your fashion. In Europe, the school, you have to sit down, don't move your hand. In Africa, we learn how to talk for ourselves, so everything is pointing. So it's, in your eyes, it looks like it's crazy. No, we have to point. So we do body language. Understand? The child that is coming 2 years later, the energy is going behind. The body is going ahead. That child that is 3 years old there, when they fall asleep in the night, 9 months later, their energy is exchanging, going to the baby that lives next door, and the baby that lives there that is 4 years is coming to this child that's going to be 4 years. So energy exchange, energy is just a little soul. It moves by the height and the consciousness and the attitude of the body. So the baby that's going to be born 2 years later doesn't exist yet. But the same consciousness, no, these children look like this. Now, that man and that woman, they will not make the exact face. Let's choose that one and that one. When they connect together, their face will look different. But most of the time, it's not much different, just the nose. And it's just magic. You see that child, like, that child doesn't look like that child, but it's just the same energy. The energy is...
Now, what I was thinking the last days, I was thinking, when people really have little children inside their house, who came to stay with them? Because we forget that when you are a little child, you go to school, you have these little girls that are spending time with you one age in the classroom. You grow up together in the classroom, you separated. But the little energy always stay little. Now, your body move on, but the energy, no, you used to be in the same class. Now, when you met somebody, you fall in love with them. The energy that used to love you, you separated, they go another side. Now they grow up, but their baby energy can always come to stay with you in the house, pretend to be your daughter, or pretend to be the son of the woman. Understand, you build a body, but there is an energy that is coming inside the baby to pretend to be your little daughter. If you was a little boy in school and now you all grow up, but the little energy that you used to be, it is real. If your mother taped you when you was 2 years old running around, when you're watching yourself, it's look real. It is real. But what you cannot see, which is really important, when you grow up as an adult, you're thinking, that's me, I just grew up. No, the energy that you was, it's still there, only get a new face. For example, let's say a lot of people have a baby today, 1,000 baby. As soon as they have the babies, the nurses doesn't allow them to stay next to the children. The children are all mixed up. Nobody can recognize their child. Now, let these mothers, they just choose a baby and go home. If someone choose you and go home and they feed you, they clutch you, will you ever know it's not your real parent? The point that they always have to make sure you know that's the baby that came out of you. That is where they're deceiving, because the body come out of you, but the wind that is coming inside is not out of you. It's out of somewhere. But that wind was only borrowed because the relationship is moving from one doorstep to the next. But understand, the little energy that used to crazy for you, the 7 years of age girl that like you, the 2 years of age girl that used to see you, when you all grow up, they come into you, they pretend to be your child in the house. Sometimes, if you don't careful, you're gonna break up the relationship because your child is causing too much trouble. And now this child is going to spend time with you and go to spend time with the mother. It is a mind game of a system in this world. We're raising ourselves. The saddest part is that we are also programmed when we reach in a certain stage. We believe that when we have a child and someone else have a child, it is just, but if only, what I said the last time, if we only can get it in our mind, I raise my son, you raise your daughter belongs to my son one day. When my daughter married to your son, this child come and they're gonna call you grandpa, they're gonna call me grandma. If that will happen, your flesh and my sperm that came out of me inside my son, it will join together and build a whole human being. Are we separate from one another, or it is just mind gaming? Because if you have a 2 years of age boy in your arm, the point is, because it's 1,000 of them, you can notice that 2 years later, the baby that is coming is still inside the stomach. You have a 2 years old now, but they are not there anymore 2 years. So doesn't it say that the face you hold in your arm can end up being in another city when they come back 2 years later? They look like face. The point is, it's your picture what you have. If the 2 years old later, the picture doesn't exist yet, what happened to the baby that is coming 7 years later? If they still live inside the stomach, when we see them, we don't understand that we have 7 years of age now. Only they're gonna get a new face on top of them. Good night.